So, okay, let's get back to this. Now, you segued into the fact that you now are committed to music. You started teaching music. What was a key point in your life when you really decided I'm going to be a musician? When did that take place for you?
It never did. I
You,
never
there was never
became
any
that.
question you'd be anything else but a musician then?
It wasn't even. I was when I was 14, I started playing professionally in a restaurant
Oh, okay.
between the bar that was there and then there was a train car. It was in Wallingford, Connecticut. It was called the Yankee Silversmith Inn, and he had one of those grand pianos that had the leather all around the top edge with bar stools all around the
Yep.
piano.
Oh, no kidding.
And I went in with my mom. She took me to hear this duo play at this place and have a nice hamburger because they did some nice food. And I just fell in love with what they were doing. And I knew maybe only about 10% of the tunes by then. So here I was listening, and the piano player, she never said a word. She just sat and played very nicely. She was not nearly as flashy as I was, even at my tender age of 14. But the banjo player was virtuosic.
Mm.
And every tune that the audience requested, he knew it.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'd beg my mom every Friday night to take me there if I did a good job in school during the week. And she'd take my sister, who was 5 years younger, so she got to sit there too. And because she was with us, and because it wasn't at the bar, it was in between the bar and the restaurant, we were allowed to sit at the piano and listen and have our meal. So I ended up learning about them and they about me. And the woman, her name was Jan, she says, I have to go for surgery. She had developed lung cancer because she smoked quite a bit, sadly.
Mm.
She said, and I think I'll be out for about 4 to 5 months. Would you be willing to take my place while I'm gone?
Oh, wow.
Which was quite an honor. They'd let me sit in so she'd heard me play.
Yes.
And I said, that'd be terrific. She said, well, frankly, I'm choosing you because I know we've gotten to know each other. And if I choose a professional pianist who's, say in their 30s or 40s, they're going to take the gig from me.
Yes.
Whereas when I come back, you'll give it back to me. I said, oh, yeah, I sure will. Yes, I will. You bet I will. So I start working with this banjo guy. And again, I mentioned I was blessed with a very good ear. It
Yeah.
was the natural attributes I had. So I was able to pick up very quickly the tunes that he was playing that I didn't yet know. And I
Wow.
thought, man, you know so many tunes. It's because you're so old. I thought he was quite old at the time. Yeah, he was 30. So there he was, 30 years old. And I thought he
Oh
was
my God.
ancient. But he taught me in those 5 months, he probably taught me three or 400 tunes,
Wow.
and, which I then would continue to play on my own wherever else I was. Jan
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
back, and sadly, eventually, it came back. And when she left the second time, she never came back.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I ended up working with him for years,
Oh my
and
God.
without exaggeration, thousands of tunes from 1892, let's say, because one of the tunes we used to do was After the Ball, which was America's first big all-encompassing hit
Huh.
in the pop world. And then up through, I'd say the late 30s, he loved Harry Warren, so we did stuff from that from 42nd Street. So
Hmm.
that's what I was doing. Now, at the
Yeah.
same time, I was developing a real interest in not playing the actual pieces of the classical composers because I really wasn't good at that, but trying to capture in some way with my own music the same emotions
Yeah.
that they were sharing with theirs.
Yeah.
So I had struggled through with my teacher Jay, the Pathétique Sonata, at least the first two movements. I got about 32 bars into the final movement. I said, forget it. I can't play. Now,
It's
now
a it's a doozy. It's a doozy.
I'm very proud to say I can play at about a third of the speed now. But so
There you
I,
go.
but I was thinking, okay, so this first section is just so huge and
Yeah.
these great chords, and why can't I
Hmm.
do that? So I tried to start writing in the style of, if you will, not themes and variations, but just saying, all right, I'm going to try and do something that's strong, and
Yeah.
call that sort of a Beethoven-esque piece. And I'm
Yeah.
using the second movement, and then I was also encouraged because as a teenager, I'm listening to pop stars take something and do something with it, which I know is a time-honored tradition. But when Billy Joel took that second theme and did a tune based on it, I said, well, that's something. That's really really cool.
Oh,
Which
I don't remember
of the
what tune was that. Do you remember offhand what tune that was?
now, because we were just sort of going via
Yeah.
stream of semi-consciousness. I can't right now.
I'll have to
I
look it
remember
up.
I
Yeah.
remember the melody,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it'd definitely be something to check out.
Yeah.
I mean, I can hear him singing the words.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't Billy Joel, but I thought it was.
Okay.
Any rate,
Well,
um,
that's yeah.
so
Yeah. Good.
then I get into college, and college was quite a lonely time for me because I was so much more interested in things that were 30, 40, 50, even 80 years old than anyone else there.
Yeah.
So I had a small cadre of friends, but when they went off to the keg party, I went to the music library and spent till 4 in the morning listening to the vast collection of
Wow. You're
CDs.
addicted.
LP. That's all I was doing. If
Yeah.
I wasn't gigging somewhere in southeastern Connecticut, which I'm happy to say I was doing a lot of from well middle school on,
Yeah. That's
I was
impressive.
trying to absorb as much as I could from whomever I could, whether it was live, whether it was an old recording. So
Yeah.
that was a very exciting time for me that way. But I stumbled upon the Wyndham Hill label,
Ah,
and they had
yes.
quite a few things there, and
Mm-hmm.
just started to fall in love with that stuff. It was especially it appealed to my sort of Wordsworthian ennui,
Mm-hmm.
from freshman through senior year of college.
Right. Right.
A lot of tweed jackets and reading Wordsworth. I majored in English. I did the whole thing. Dead
Wow.
Poet Society all over again.
So you
But
majored in English, not music, then?
double majored because my mom and dad figured we're paying enough for this. Why don't you do one? So
Okay.
essentially, I kept telling myself college is half price because I'm getting 2 degrees.
Yeah. There you go.
So I did English, I did music, music mainly because I could pass out of most of the first level
I
classes,
bet. Yeah.
delving into meat, which was really fun. But
Yeah.
again, I was the black sheep. They kind of looked at me with a combination of holding the cross before them before whenever I walked down and a whip and chain, chair. Look out for this
Well,
guy. He
well.
does.
By the way, what do you call? How would you characterize the music then that you do, or that you love? What would you call that? 20s music, or how would you categorize it if you were?
I really couldn't because it's
Yeah.
eclectic. I love ragtime. I
Yeah.
love the 1920s and 30s hot jazz.
Yeah.
I, I got turned off a bit when it became bebop. It just became, I think, way too self-absorbed. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
so I had to wait for the cool school. Brubeck, I love. Bill Evans. So it goes
Mm.
all the way through.
Yeah.
As far as contemporary classical people, I love choral music. So John Rutter has always appealed to me very
Oh,
much. It's so very
amazing. Yeah.
melodic and gorgeous.
Very gorgeous. Yeah.
So I need that, especially because there's so much chaos in and in my life because we travel so much. When I turn to something, I need it to be something that's going to. I don't want it to just be soothed like a salve or a balm. I'd like it to engage me, but
Mm.
I just don't. I'm not going to put on Berlioz's Requiem, for instance. I'll
Yeah.
put on Poiret's Requiem and say, okay, this is okay, you
Yeah.
know. But I love all sorts. I really do. Acoustic music primarily. When things started to get plugged in, I got turned off, and
Yeah.
that's all genres. Um,
So tell me this: when did you start composing?
it really started in elementary school. I composed a ragtime piece.
Really?
They
Oh.
ended up using as their school theme song whenever they did the announcements in the morning.
Oh, no
They play
kidding.
about
Wow.
30 seconds of it, and then they do the announcements. So I
No
got to hear it
kidding.
every day.
Wow.
Uh, Matter of fact, I haven't thought about that in 50 years, but I could probably play the first theme because that's all I remember because that's all I ever heard again. You know,
Well.
so
Well.
I started dabbling with making stuff up right from the very beginning,
Mm.
but I wouldn't say that it became something I started to really concentrate on. And that happens in waves. There
Yeah.
will be times when I might be quite prolific and put out 10 new pieces, most of them ranging, 10 minutes or less. I mean, there's no large pieces going on here. And
Hmm.
very rarely for other instruments. I hated the flute until I married my wife
Oh
and
my
I
God.
heard somebody play it well
How could
live.
you hate the flute? Come on now,
Well,
Jeff.
you have to understand, when I was in middle school and high school, I was in the trombone section, and
Okay.
all the flautists really just didn't sound that good. So it's easy to sound pretty poor on a trombone and get away with it, but you have to really sound good on a flute to make something
Ah,
sound.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least as far as I'm concerned, 'cause all a
Yeah.
trombone does is go, but they have to really play prettily, and so many of them had a bad tone, and it just rubbed wrong with me. So it
Yeah.
wasn't until college that I hooked up with a couple of flautists who really did have a nice tone. I actually wrote a couple of pieces for them. One of them that we'll be playing today,
Oh,
actually, I wrote
excellent.
in college for two other flautists.
Ah.
When Ann and I got together and eventually got married, when it came time to record it, I said, rather than bringing somebody else in, would you mind overdubbing? So that's one of the rare times that we did that,
Yeah.
and it came out really well. She was a little bit freaked out at first, like, wait a minute, it's weird to hear myself play and be playing alongside me, because she had done so many group flute performances,
Huh.
duets, and chorals and flute choruses and things. So I would say that I've always had an interest in it, and right now it's taken a backseat because of the teaching that we're doing. We're working with Rhodes Scholar now, doing a few really fun courses on American pop music. So I'm getting to share with interested people in the Rhodes Scholar programs what what I love about American pop. And when I say that, from ragtime on through New Orleans jazz, through what would later become Dixieland jazz, through 20s and 30s, 40s swing, 50s R&B. The stuff that makes essentially young people excited, and then the stuff that's good lasts.
Yeah.
So we mentioned earlier, Fats Waller, of course, he'll last, and I also happen to love Fats Domino. That stuff will last too. Whenever I'm losing a crowd, if I'm playing someplace where it's supposed to be just general business music, all I have to do is start going da 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 da. I found my thrill, and they all start cheering and dancing, and I got the crowd back. That's
Yeah.
my get them back tune. So
I love it. I love it. What's the Rhodes Scholar thing again? That seems very interesting.
every class that we teach, well, are you familiar with Rhodes Scholar in the first place?
No, not. I think you told me something briefly about it. It sounds a little like a. I do a presentation at the Circle of Scholars in Salve Regina College, but this sounds like something much more internet or national. So yeah.
It's actually international. The I don't know if I can remember the exact number, but the film course that we do is number 24,884 or something like that,
Wow.
which means there were 24,883 programs before us. And it's one that goes on for as long as people will book it. It was started in the 70s by two retirees who were tired of sitting on their front porches rocking back and forth.
Mm.
We want to, we're energetic. We want to get out there and see stuff. Why don't we take our wives and go travel? So they started travel, and they said there must be other people who want to do this too. And they simply advertised in the neighboring town newspapers, hey, we're going to get a travel group together. We're going to go to this place in 6 months. Why don't you get in touch if you think you'd like to come along? And they ended up with about a dozen people. And then
Mm.
all of a sudden it became 30 people. And they finally said, there's something here. So they started something called Elder Hostel. Hostels, like, youth usually go when they're traveling, backpacking around.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
became Elder Hostel instead. And it was geared towards retirees who weren't interested in sitting still, who still had inquisitive minds, who wanted to get out, wanted to see things, experience things, learn something they knew nothing about. So they started putting these things together. The
Mm.
courses usually are about 5 days long. Eventually, Elder Hostel got rebranded as Road Scholar because it was, I think, during the .com revolution when you had a whole bunch of people retiring at the ages of 48 and 52. And they
Yeah.
said, we're not going to do this. We're not elders. So they said, all right, forget it.
I
Let's
love it.
change it to Road Scholar. So anybody's welcome to sign on, but
That's
it's
wonderful.
primarily geared towards 55 and older. Uh,
Excellent. Well, I also like the fact that you have you not only you booked a lot in this year, but you're also booked all the way out in 2027.
we actually have dates for 2028 that we have to have
That's
cleared.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean,
do you have an agent that does this for you, or do you don't do it all on your own these days?
we have a manager in New York,
Yeah.
his Tom Parker, not like the Colonel Tom Parker of Elvis Presley days, but but he does get a lot of flack for
Yeah,
that.
I bet he does.
He has a New York-based managing company called Parker Artists,
Hmm.
and there are probably 40 or so artists that are on it,
Yeah.
if you include the ensembles he has. And except for Ann and B, it's all classical.
Wow.
Uh,
Oh, really? Interesting.
a good friend of ours is one of his classical pianists,
Wow.
as adept playing Chopin as he is Gershwin.
Oh my
So
God.
he convinced Tom to take a look at us and see what he thought. And we've become his token non-classical act. But
You also
that's done
have
us very
great.
well because we stand out.
You have great reviews. Just great reviews. Oh my God. Very nice. How'd you come up with the idea of Ivory and Gold? It's a great title.
We were working together. The very first piece we played was a ragtime piece at the Sun Valley Ragtime Festival, as a matter of
Mm.
fact. And she was so nervous because, as a classical player, she wasn't used to an audience being close up.
Yeah.
You know, your classical players, there's a nice, vast, different distance between you and the
Yeah, on the
people
stage. You're on stage, you're above them all.
right. So all of a sudden, here she was, and to make matters worse, this was one where it's sort of an amphitheater thing. We were at the bottom, and
Oh
then
no.
it just sort of went like this, and all the people were there, and the closest one to her was no more than a foot and a half away.
Oh my God. That's got to be really
There she is.
disturbing. Yeah.
And so she's very like, I said, well, what would you do? She goes, well, so she was inspired. She took her shoes off and she walked out barefoot and played the piece. So her big toe was keeping time and nothing else moved. And that way she was able to channel this worry and anxiety essentially into her big toe.
Huh.
And it worked out great. And so then she became known across the jazz circuit as the barefoot flautist. For about 3 or 4 years, she had to continually go out with no shoes on, which got a little bit messy when you went onto a stage that had just been played, a jazz band had just played, and the trumpet player and the trombone player and all their spit.
Oh my God.
Forget it. I'm not doing this anymore. So she finally put her shoes back on. But it was about then that we said, we need a name. We're going to have a duo. Every act here has a name. And I don't know who came up with it. It was probably a collaborative, but we decided Ivory and Gold because, as a pianist, that old phrase, tickling the ivories.
Yep,
So
that makes
that,
sense.
and Anne plays four different flutes, but the one she was playing that day was a 10-carat gold flute,
Oh
a 10
wow.
carat gold Powell flute. And
Nice.
she said, fine, you know what? I'll be gold. So he became Ivory and Gold.
It's a
And
great
then we went
name.
to trademark the name. Took too long for that, about 10 years. There was somebody in Denmark, which is some rock group, also called Ivory and Gold.
Oh
But pretty
no.
easy to tell the two of us apart. And we never said, hey, that's our name. We trademarked it before you did. It's international, whatever. It doesn't matter. But that's how we came up with Ivory and Gold.
That's
And
great.
it works. So she's got her 10-carat gold flute and another Powell flute that's 14-carat gold
Hmm.
and a couple of silver flutes. So
Well,
no matter what she's playing, we're always Ivory and Gold, even if it's one of her silver flutes.
that's ivory and precious metal.
Right.
So tell me how do you write a piece like this when you obviously know the flute range? Is it mostly you basically write out the melody for her to play, or does she sometimes collaborate with you on what could happen, or how does that work?
I do ask, what notes are fun to play, what notes are more difficult, what
Right.
notes you enjoy holding for a long time,
Ah.
what notes
Mm-hmm.
would you try not to as much,
Mm.
and because of the very high quality of player she is,
Mm.
she does have favorites. I think most flautists do. A lot of
Mm.
flautists don't like the high E, which is funny because Antique Suite by Rutter starts on that note. And she always says, that guy, why is he doing that? He must not like flautists,
I guess he doesn't realize. I mean, probably I would just think every note's equal, but it's not. I didn't realize that. So
Well,
that's
for a
interesting.
pianist, I think it is. I think that we're
Yeah.
sort of lucky in that way
Yeah.
that, it's our attack and our touch which give it, but certain notes just are easier to have resonate, more effortlessly. So
That is good to know. I did not know that. Yeah. Huh.
but most of the time, I just come up with the piece in my head
Yeah.
and I write it down. And then the collaborative part comes when she plays it through and says, I'm feeling this. Why don't you see
Yeah.
if you could try and do that instead?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that works very well.
That came out
Uh,
very nicely. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of it. And the
Mm.
half a dozen times or so we've actually managed to perform it live because it requires a really good piano. You
Yeah.
know, we can't
Yeah.
just, if it's a, what they used to call PSO, piano shaped object.
Yes.
If it's an actual good piano,
Yeah.
then yes, we can do it.
By the way, speaking about PSOs, I actually once had a gig, um, and it was at Bosendorf. I was very excited about it. I go there to play, and it was so badly managed. It wasn't properly kept under repair that literally keys would get stuck as I was playing. I'd have to play and unstick the keys as I was going. It was just horrific. It was just awful. But they still paid me a lot of money, and it was a good party, and they hardly heard me play anyway. So it was But I'm
And the
happy
music,
to say years later, I went back and found out that someone had finally, I mean, it was a beautiful Bosendorfer. They finally fixed it up very nicely, but that was just a terrific, a horrific event. Anyway, um, onwards and upwards.
and late at night, you might have heard one of these guys playing like this. Thank you so much, the entertainer.